I'm home.
Hey, what's with the bank book I found in your desk? What's this about having $300,000 in savings?
You looked through it without permission? I had it locked up. That's so low. It was usual for me to keep things like bank books locked in the desk, but it seems my husband went through it while I was out. I normally keep the key in my bag, which I take to work. That means he must have rummaged through my bag as well. What he's doing is no different from theft. Apologize for looking through it without asking, and that money isn't just some secret savings.
But we are married, so your money is our money. I was just thinking about what to do with the funds for my mother's retirement, and I'm going to give all of that money to her.
Wait a minute, that's totally unreasonable. This is ridiculous. That money isn't our money, it's my money. And there's no way I'm giving it to a mother-in-law who's always picking on me. I will never allow that. I won't give it to your mother, and if it comes to that, I'd rather donate the entire amount.
If you're going to say that, then we might as well get a divorce. If that's fine with you, go ahead and keep talking nonsense.
As my husband glares at me, he hands me the divorce papers. Okay, if that's what he's saying, I have my own plans too. I take the divorce papers from him and decided to leave. And then a month later.
Hey, I just checked the account, and why is there only 84 cents left?
Of course, because that account is... My name is Kelly, and I currently work at a foreign company aged 28. I've always been good at languages and studied international subjects at university. Utilizing my knowledge and language skills, I got a job at a foreign firm. And despite the busy and challenging days, I have been able to lead a fulfilling life. Kelly, this is the material for next week's presentation. Could you check it for me? I'm still not confident in my Spanish. Understood. I'll check it by this evening, so please send it to my computer as a PDF file. In this company, there's no seniority system. The more capable you are, the higher you can go. That's why in my third year, I got to work on a major project, where I gained a lot of experience. As a result, just before turning 30, I had subordinates of my own, and I think they really look up to me. That's why I found work enjoyable and could really commit to it. And the reason life felt fun wasn't just because of work, but also because I had a fulfilling personal life. Sorry, did I keep you waiting because the meeting ran late?
Not at all, don't worry. For the most beautiful woman in the world, I've booked us the best French restaurant, so let's hurry a bit.
I have been dating him for a year now, and is truly a gentleman. He treats me like a princess, and I really love his thoughtfulness. Today marks our first anniversary, so he splurged on a nice restaurant reservation. Being with a considerate man is truly fun and exciting. As we enjoy the meal, he suddenly takes out a small box, gently holding my hand.
Over the past year, I've come to truly love you. If you're okay with someone like me, will you marry me?
Yes, I look forward to it. I had suspected he might propose, and as he did, applause naturally broke out around us. It was the happiest moment of my life, and I truly believed I would be happy with him forever. And so our life together began, and the first month was smooth sailing. Since my husband also helped with the household chores, I could focus on work, and on days when I was tired from working late, he would be waiting for me at home. Just having him there motivated me at work, and I really felt glad to be married. We were both busy with our jobs, so we didn't have a wedding ceremony, but we were okay with that. Instead, we bought expensive wedding rings and cherished our happiness as we lived our lives, and then 2 months passed. One day, my husband took a day off, using his leave while I had work. I'm home. Huh? You're quite late coming home. It's already 8 p.m. Mother, you were here. Oh, what's the problem with coming to my son's house? There's no real problem. I've known her since the marriage introduction, and since I was raised in a single-parent home, I know my husband cares deeply for his mother. But I wasn't informed she was coming to visit today, so I was a bit surprised. I usually tell my husband when I'm coming home, so it would have been nice if he had mentioned it then. I'm sorry. Work has been busy. Have you already had dinner? I had Italian food with my son. I see. I'm not the type to sulk just because they didn't take me with them. I stayed late at work because I wanted to finish up, but if I had been invited, I could have wrapped up early and joined them. Well, maybe my husband wanted to have a meal alone with his mom for once, so I shouldn't make a big deal out of it. But for some reason, my mother-in-law doesn't seem to be leaving even though I'm home. While my husband relaxes and watches TV, what are they up to? I decided to ask my husband about it when my mother-in-law goes to the bathroom. By the way, have you asked your mother what time she plans to leave?
She's planning to stay over tonight. Didn't I tell you?
What? Stay over?
Yeah, I'm off tomorrow too, and we're planning to go on a trip in the morning, so please take care of things around the house.
Even if she's suddenly saying she'll stay over, where's she planning to sleep? Since we moved into my husband's room after we got married, it's not that spacious. We sleep in one bed in one bedroom, but it's not a big room and we don't have spare blankets. It seems the only option is for my mother-in-law to sleep on the sofa. It's really uncomfortable to have all of this decided without any consultation. Sure, it's my husband's family, but now that we're living together, I wish he would consider that a bit. There's a huge mental difference between just visiting and staying over. I understand she's staying, but will she be sleeping on the sofa? We don't have spare blankets, and the bedroom isn't that spacious.
It's pitiful to make my mom sleep on the sofa. She'll sleep in your bed tonight, and you can sleep on the sofa. It's just for one night, right?
What? What is he talking about? If he's the one inviting his mother to stay, shouldn't he be the one sleeping on the sofa? I'm tired from working all day. Why do I have to be inconvenienced? But arguing about it now wouldn't help. Besides, I'm tired from work and don't want to start a quarrel. However, my husband and mother-in-law keep watching TV in the living room where the sofa is. I'm tired. Let me sleep, I thought, but they ended up making noise until about 1 a.m.
We're planning to leave the house by 9 a.m. tomorrow, so could you wake us at 8 a.m. and prepare breakfast?
I'm making it?
What, you expect us to go without eating? That's pretty harsh considering we're heading out. Do you hate me or something?
It's not like that, but if I need to prepare breakfast by 8, that means I have to get up before 7 a.m. I wasn't allowed to sleep until 1 a.m. because of them. Isn't this too much? Their selfishness knows no bounds. What do they think of me? Sure, I'm willing to do what I can, and since my mother-in-law is visiting, I'm willing to be hospitable. But I don't want to just nod along with such audacious requests. Maybe you could buy breakfast at a store or something? It's already late. It's hard to get up early to prepare it.
You shouldn't say things like that when my mom is here. Making meals is your responsibility, so you should be able to do at least that much.
Back in my day, it was natural for the bride to entertain her husband's parents when they visited. I'm troubled. You really don't understand common sense.
The times you lived in and the times I'm living in are different. Please don't impose your standards on me. Moreover, if I were a housewife, it might be reasonable to expect that. But we both work, and frankly, I earn more than my husband. We both contribute to the household expenses, and it's my income that enables him to take his mother on a trip. I can't help but sigh. They went to the bedroom before waiting for my response, but if I don't prepare breakfast, they'll probably be angry again. I sigh deeply and set the alarm for 7 a.m. before going to sleep. Good morning. The food is ready. Please eat it while it's hot.
What's this? Isn't a bacon and egg meal typical for breakfast?
Didn't you tell her that you like bacon? Really? Sorry, Mom. She doesn't seem to get it.
I got up at 7 a.m. and prepared several dishes like toasted bread, soup, and salad. When they woke up, the first thing they did was criticize the meal I made. Rubbing my sleepy eyes, unaware of the effort I put in, I was irritated from the morning but finished setting the table without responding to their comments. I had no intention of eating with them, so I played with my phone on the sofa.
This soup is quite salty. Did you taste it?
I did taste it, but did it not suit your palate?
For a woman, not being able to properly make even breakfast is disappointing. Soup is the very basics.
Getting food made for you and then complaining about it? If you have that many complaints, why not make it yourself? Like yesterday, I just couldn't understand what my mother-in-law was thinking. Maybe this is what they call daughter-in-law bullying. Some married friends of mine had mentioned being criticized for household and meals, and I was prepared that it might happen to me too. But I didn't expect it to actually happen. However, if this is really daughter-in-law bullying, there's no point in resisting. I'm sorry, I'll try to improve my cooking skills from now on.
Anyone can say that with their mouth.
When I apologized sincerely, she looked smug and went back to her meal. That's troublesome. Thinking this kind of life might continue indefinitely sends shivers down my spine, but there's no use worrying too much about the future. After they had eaten, they left immediately, so I decided to rest for the day. It was truly relaxing without my mother-in-law around, and in the evening I went out for a meal alone and went to bed early. The next day, my husband came back alone, having dropped his mother off at her home.
I don't know if you hate my mom, but try not to show it so much. Not making proper meals? Are you trying to harass her?
Harassment? I did make it properly. There were no requests, were there?
If you call that proper, then I think you lack awareness as a wife. Should we have you do some bridal training?
Such a sarcastic remark from my husband. If he has so many complaints, he could have cooked for her himself. They push everything onto me and yet they complain so much. They really do have similar personalities, both parent and child. I thought I had a good relationship with my husband, and until recently, we were happy. But this incident has suddenly cast a shadow over our future. Still, we both have jobs, and my mother-in-law only comes once a month. Even though that feels often, I have been managing to live without too much stress. One day a year later, during the Easter holiday, my mother-in-law came to visit.
This is the meat and potatoes. It's like eating dog food. You really can't even make a simple dish like this, can you? Your learning abilities are non-existent.
Sorry, it seems I'm not good at cooking.
Don't you think it's disrespectful to your husband to serve such bad food?
Well, I often eat out at company drinking parties, so it doesn't really bother me.
Here we go again. Every time my mother-in-law visits, she makes me cook and then insults my cooking. I've gotten used to it, but lately my husband has started to mock me too. Before we were married, he was really a gentleman and kind. Now it's like he's a different person. Maybe he thinks everything his mom says is absolute because he's a mama's boy. Either way, it's depressing. I was planning to relax at home during the upcoming holiday, but with these two around, it would just be stressful. I quickly finished my chores and decided to go out.
Where do you think you're going, doing as you please? My mom's here and you're not going to entertain her?
Whatever I do, I only get complaints. Besides, I'll do as I please on my day off. I spoke to my husband in a stern tone and left the house. I'm sure they're angry because I left them behind, but that doesn't concern me. Since I'm criticized, even when I'm home, it's better not to be there at all. With that thought, I enjoyed shopping and watching movies for the first time in a while and had a fulfilling day. Then, I returned home. My mother-in-law and husband were still there. It was 7 p.m. and I thought they might have gone out to eat, but I'm home.
Come here for a second.
What's going on? He doesn't seem very angry, but he looks serious, and he leads me to the bedroom away from where my mother-in-law can hear. What could this be about?
What is this? Why do you have $300,000 saved up?
He said that and showed me my bank book. I had never shown it to him, and it was stored in my desk, which is always locked. I always keep important things like bank books in there, and the key is always in my bag. Today I took a different bag because of work, so he must have snooped around. Did you rummage through my bag and unlock it without permission?
Never mind that. Why do you have such a huge secret stash of money? Why have you kept quiet about this much money?
Didn't I tell you before we got married that my parents had died? It's the inheritance from that time. My parents died in a traffic accident before I got married, and I received a significant amount of money as compensation. I haven't told my husband the exact amount, and I managed it separately from our savings, so I hadn't touched it.
If you have this much money, you could take my mother on trips. Plus, it can be used for her retirement funds, so I'm going to give it all to her.
What? Am I tired or something? It must be a misunderstanding. There's no way I'm giving all this money to my mother-in-law. Sorry, what did you just say?
I said I'm giving all this money to my mother. We're married, so this is all our money. That means I can do whatever I want with it, right?
Realizing this wasn't a misunderstanding, I sighed heavily. It's Easter, not April Fool's Day on April 1st. And it doesn't seem like my husband is joking. But even so, I can't accept such a ridiculous proposal. You know I can't accept that, right? That's my money.
Your money? We're married, so it's obviously our money. Even my mom said it. You're too presumptuous for a daughter-in-law. If you keep up this arrogance, I'll divorce you.
He said that and showed me a filled-out divorce form. He must be trying to extort me. I've turned a blind eye to the tyranny of my husband and mother-in-law so far, but this is unforgivable. Enough with the belittling. If you think I'll just obey everything you say, you're sorely mistaken. Understood.
You can only be so bold for now, you know?
With that, I snatched the divorce papers from my husband. He glared at me and then returned to the living room, still holding the bank book. He must think that having the bank book means he can do anything. Let him think what he wants. I packed my bags that day and left. I've left, but now what? I have no parents left. What should I do now? Well, there's no use thinking about it, so I decided to stay at a hotel for now. I haven't planned what to do next, and I really just acted on impulse. I have no intention of going back to my husband. While thinking this, my husband called. What is it?
Does you leaving me you want a divorce?
Thanks for calling to confirm. That's right, and I don't intend to talk to you anymore.
I don't care about that, but since you left unilaterally, there will be no division of property.
After saying that, he hung up the phone. He doesn't want to divide the property. That's fine with me. In fact, it's only to my advantage. He's misunderstanding something. After that, I immediately contacted a colleague and arranged to stay at their place for a while. It was supposed to be until I found a new place to live, but I'm truly grateful they accepted so kindly. I hate to be a bother, but really, thank you. When times are tough, we help each other out. Plus, you helped me a lot with work when I was new, so I'll do whatever I can to help. Even though it was tough with all that needed to be done, I managed to find a new apartment while still going to work, and everything was going smoothly until, about a month later, I suddenly received a furious call from my ex-husband, even though there had been no contact until then. Hello?
Hey, what's up with your bank book? Why is there only 84 cents left?
He finally noticed. It's been a month since then, and he's really clueless. Did he really think I'd let him use that money without saying anything? If so, that's laughably foolish. Did you think I'd let you use all of it?
But that's strange. How could you spend such a large amount of money?
As if I would spend it. I just transferred it to another account. It took a few days, but I managed to transfer the full amount. When I said that, it seemed like I knocked the wind out of him. No, how could he think I spent such a large amount of money in 1 month? He's really clueless and foolish. To think I was married to such a person, it's a dark chapter in my life. While thinking that, since he was silent, I continued to press on. I heard from some mutual friends that you've been splurging on overseas trips and buying branded goods.
That's what you'd expect. I thought all that money was mine. Plus, we agreed not to divide the property, so it's wrong for you to take it.
Don't make me laugh. If we're not dividing the property, then this money is mine. Besides, this money is from before our marriage, and even if it were from after, inheritance isn't subject to property division. It's really troublesome that you don't understand any common sense. My ex-husband was probably splurging with credit cards, but now that we're divorced and since the inheritance was before our marriage, this money is undoubtedly mine. My ex-husband fell silent again. He must be feeling desperate. He switches his thoughts strangely fast.
But I don't intend to divorce. You submitted the divorce papers on your own. They're invalid.
No? Do you really think that argument will hold?
I didn't have the intention to divorce.
Well, if he claims that, it's not like he doesn't have a point. Divorce usually requires the consent of both parties. However, there are exceptions to every rule. Even so, considering all the emotional abuse I've endured, that alone can validate the divorce. If you object, shall we go to court?
Not a court. Let's talk it over.
A talk? You blew up and don't seem capable of a calm discussion, which is why I suggested going to court. Whenever I say something, my husband just goes silent. If he's so bad at arguing, he should just quietly listen to me. But he's probably desperate because of the huge payments he faces. In reality, there's nothing much that can be done. I just hung up the phone and deleted my ex-husband's contact information. I had already submitted the divorce papers, and although there was the issue of property division, we had always split the living expenses in half, so any savings should be split equally. After consulting a lawyer, they said that even if I sued for property division, the legal fees would cost more than what I might gain, so even my ex-husband wouldn't make such a foolish move. So, did things settle properly with your ex-husband? I've completely cut ties, so there's no problem. Also, I heard from friends that he got into various troubles afterwards. Apparently, my ex-husband tried to borrow money from friends in the end. However, since no one was willing to lend him such a large amount, he had no choice but to borrow from consumer finance companies. What followed was the breakdown of the parent-child relationship. According to our mutual friends, they ended up completely cutting ties, blaming each other for the situation. But if care is needed in the future, it'll fall on my ex-husband, the only son. I wonder what he'll do. Indeed, and to borrow money to repay debts, that's like a dangerous loop, isn't it? Exactly. Eventually, he became so financially strained that he even got involved with loan sharks. Supposedly. Well, the fact that no one is willing to help him, even now, shows how isolated he is. My ex-husband continues his job and works part-time from evening to midnight to make ends meet. Since all the debts are in his name, he must be suffering quite a bit. As for my mother-in-law, she probably splurged thinking she would receive $300,000, so she likely has no savings. Considering she doesn't work, she must have been living on her pension, but with no money at hand, what will she do? Well, either way, it's just karma for trying to use me. I think he should suffer thoroughly in his future life. Anyway, from now on, I plan to forget about such people and focus on my work, so you better keep up so you don't get left behind. If you become my boss, I'm counting on that raise. By the way, since then, I've focused on my work and my promotion has been decided. I'm not fixated on money, but it's certainly nice to be recognized by the company. Considering my age, if I were to remarry, I should start looking soon, but for now, I think I'll concentrate on my job. Marriage isn't something that can be sustained by love alone. But to look down on a partner or try to use them, once you think to do such things, the trust is already broken. It may be too late, but I hope my ex-husband takes this as a lesson for life. Well, I can't imagine anyone would want to be with a man drowning in debt and without savings.